Under 5 years. That's what you typically have as the leader of an 8-figure business that needs to go through a transformation. And it usually requires a rebrand or a refresh. If you want to see how a rebrand contributed to the tripling of pipeline, doubling of reoccurring revenue, taking an NPS from negative to positive, and finally a high-value exit, join me as I chat with the group CEO, MD, and comms officer on the steps we took to go from a struggling startup to a systemized train tech scale-up that customers and employees could believe in.
Howdy, I'm Filip Matous, a rebrander, and this is the most by-the-book transformation I've been a part of since moving to London 17 years ago and starting to work on brands. So you get the full picture. I've taken about 5 hours of interviews over the summer and condensed it down to just over 20 minutes with illustrated frameworks. We're going to start with the reason for the transformation and then 4 sections: the strategy using the core and explore model, the rebrand phases, the leadership approach, and finally preparing for the exit.
Lay it on me. Were you comfortable with the risk that it might not work?
The risk was more, would somebody like Sanjay with his CV and his reputation be prepared to take this on and put that at risk? The parent company, 𝘱𝘯𝘵𝘯𝘰𝘷𝘢, has an annual turnover of about 10 billion. The likes of Omnicom, which is a small tech startup really, revenue is about 1 million a month. So you can see it's there's a David and Goliath in all of this. What you have to do is you have to have trust in your leader and their judgment. And they'll make mistakes, but the point is they have to learn by making those mistakes. And part of our philosophy always is, bad news early is good news.
Like, what was the situation when you got brought in?
I think it was pretty dire situation. I came, got the team together in a room, tried to understand what's going on. How the leadership, run my program with them for a day to understand all different sides, product side, customer side, and gathered all the data from all different parts. There was a hope, but it was really, really tough. We had to educate both to make something which is sustainable and can be interesting for a large corporation.
The strategy that guided this transformation is the core and explore model. The parent brand company, Balfour, is the UK's largest construction and infrastructure company. Meanwhile, Omnicom, the child brand, is a tech-focused rail startup struggling to look the part and share the right story. Leo explains why the startup needed its own culture.
It becomes really important that you have a separate identity and a separate culture, because the larger parent company works on the basis of delivering projects, and those projects effectively mean that they are costed and their teams are assembled to drive them. And that business model is very, very different to that of a technology business, the likes of which Sanjay runs, in terms of it's slightly product-based, but it's also data-based and software-based. And when you put those two things together, very few people have the mindset to be able to handle a big project delivery business alongside a small tech startup. So what we've done is we've separated out the smaller tech startups and given them a real strong leader that can actually drive their own culture.
For Balfour, you are the explorer.
Yes.
Because they were thinking of potentially, hey, maybe we shut this down. What do we do with it? So it's like you're now within that explore. You also have your core and explore. And that's inception of them.
Absolutely. You highlight a very important point. Without Leo's knowledge about that, we would not have been successful.
Sure.
Because Leo also did exactly same. He run my business as an explorer, and then he ran his core business. So in that, he was a kind of ambidextrous leader, where he let me to run in a culture of product and technology. That was very critical. Without his support in that direction, you could not have done it. Once you did the homework in first 3 to 6 months, understanding customer needs, understanding our capabilities, how we bring them to, then it's all about this boring stuff. Repeat it, because we have made some assumptions. And now we need to deliver them. Walk the talk.
Tell me the part about the first 2 things you do when you get into an organization.
It's very important. One, immediately see where is the business, where is the potential sales. So get hold of that. Make sure there are these sales opportunities seen very seriously and try to focus on them. And also then bring passion among the team and a purpose.
Yep.
If you bring the combination of new sales and passion and purpose, then the processes evolve. And you also have to really stand the ground. This we do, this we don't do.
Sure.
And use no as powerfully as yes.
Yes.
They saw what they used to call poison chalice, Sanjay, don't touch it.
Really? What was the poison chalice? Lianne?
These all systems they had sold and they were not working. I don't know, that is one of our goals.
Yeah.
If we don't solve them,
Yeah.
how would we create a credibility? We need to get on top of them. And then you had to put a proper commercial model, technical model, support model,
Yeah.
which they didn't have. So you brought those things in and the performance went from 76% to 97%.
Right.
The best part to hear from one of these guys was, Sanjay, I before even didn't believe we could do it.
Yeah.
And he literally said, thanks to you, you brought the focus, and now here we are. The challenge is cultural,
Sure.
both our side as a suppliers and a customer. Cultural transformation is as critical now
Yep.
for customers to get ready with this new way of doing things.
If you want to get real high motivation and drive,
Yep.
the idea of creating an entity with its own brand and its own identity and its own sense of purpose is really, really important.
Sure.
Doesn't matter whether you're doing a cultural transformation program or you're running a business. However, there are some what I would call hygiene factors which have to be in place. You know, your ethics, your code of conduct, the way you behave, and those are minimum entry level. So, and they're good because at the end of the day, that then normalizes people to a work environment and a style, which hopefully will make them more productive and more confident in their future, which means that they can spend their time looking at how do I drive the business rather than how do I worry about my next paycheck.
Yeah.
To make the core and explore strategy believable, we applied brand constraint, externally making it explicit that we work in rail and not just general infrastructure. We took a dozen products and services and simplified them into 3 complementary offers. Then internally, we embraced tech culture, more fitting of a company that processes 25 terabytes of data each day. Lianne, the comms lead, was the hub between the employees, customers, Balfour, and eventually the new owner.
The rebranding really set us apart from the construction look and feel. And it allowed more intuitive conversations with customers, and they could see the difference of our products and actually how they help them within the industry as well. But it certainly brought in more pride with the team, even just from the change of the logo and the colouring. It just made sense for us.
Visually, we separated the logo from the parent brand and hinted at technology inspecting rail. We also used an endorsed logo format so the ownership could be easily swapped if wanted. On the sub-brand side, we locked that in as a visual system, and we took that new color palette and applied that treatment to existing visuals like the train-borne lasers.
Do you feel like the bulk of the work happened across 3 years?
I think it's definitely built, and that's one of the things Sanjay's always said, you know, it's a long journey. You can't do it. You can make the understanding of what needs changing like within the first 12 months, but then it's making sure it's embedded, understood. And it just felt like in the last year, things changed, and you could see that even with our Net Promoter Score. Our customers can see the value now.
Yes, you went from a negative Net Promoter Score to double digits positive, which is,
Yeah, our actual score, when they look at it in the whole net promoter sphere, we're actually at one of the best in class get into that area.
Yep.
Whereas if you'd have said that 3 years ago with our negative score,
Yeah.
we were like, how? But it was really just purely growing the relationship with the customers,
Yes.
understanding their pain points rather than selling a product, and then really working to help them understand how we can help
Yep.
solve
Yep.
their issues. And then there's still so much more to do because it's at a very early point of the journey in the industry on both sides, from us and the customer.
That passion and purpose was created, but it would not have happened without you stepping in and picking up and siphoning the whole possibilities and knowledge and technology into a clear messaging.
Yeah.
That rebranding
Yeah.
was so critical, not only from the customers or partners' point of view, but also employees. So we then got it on the media, we got it on the presentation, we got it on the website, we created a foldy, and that emphasized all what we need. That in fact created that that belief in people.
Yep.
There is something happening now. I think it's not just rebranding, it's more than that. It's sending out clear message what we do,
Yeah.
how we do. Yeah? And that came out in 3 minutes. You can tell them, have you seen our intro? It's just right there.
Yeah.
So it kind of brings clarity from also customer point of view, employee point of view, new partners point of view.
And I think like that's an important point is like, that's why I need to talk to people. Like you don't get there without talking to people, getting in the field, right? It's impossible.
And the way you go systematically, took my strategy, took my thoughts, validated with my team, validated with the competition, saw how they do, customers. So there is a lot of work done from your side as well. Your approach is very, very structural, systematic. So results don't just like come like because you're a rebrander. You understand what I mean? You put that element of understanding.
Unfortunately, some clients think branding is just aesthetics and nice sounding things. It couldn't be further from it. That's almost the sprinkle on the top. It's like, what's the clarity? There's fun stuff. Of course, I love the animations, the color palettes, the fun styles, but that all is at the service of what is this? Where do we fit in the world?
Absolutely. That simplicity is the place.
There was like a 5-minute long presentation to the board that you punted me in for. I spent most of the day before just refining it with a timer. I was like this. I just had my timer. I kept doing it to just like get it under 5 minutes, and I got to about 4.5 minutes, right? The clarity of like, what is the most important? You can't say all the details. What is the most important part? The business optionality of actually doing this, like moving it away from the aesthetics of the parent company. So it's still endorsed, it's by Balfour, but it's separate. So if a new owner comes in, you can replace it. But also if a new owner doesn't come in fast, you can still run it. Like that was a joy, actually.
People don't necessarily like change. And so Sanjay was very much, and that's where the consistency of the messaging came. People understood why we needed to change. And it has resulted in where we are now, which is a different style of company and open to moving into a more global business. I might turn you a bit of a fangirl. I think, and again, it is because I have the experience of working for Sanjay in a previous company, loving my job, doing exactly what I do now. A different boss came in, said all the same things, but didn't truly believe it, and that message was felt from the team. So with Sanjay, I never question. I understand why he's doing it. I understand what we need to do. And for me, it's just for my own personal development. I've just learned constantly. He's always about learn this, personal learning, read this. He shares everything.
Yeah, he truly loves the work.
And I think, unfortunately, Sanjay is unique in that, whereas he shouldn't be. He very much does believe, because he's very much, although he's responsible for all of our numbers, he will always spend the time talking about people development, and we do our employee engagement focus. Because he knows that although customer, the raving fan, it's our team that create the raving fans. So he spends time focusing obviously on the numbers, but he knows it's our team which is why he's so consistent with the communication, the organisational alignment.
Find the gap between the train and the platform.
Yeah, look, I mean, there are many statistics that you can look at in terms of 𝘱𝘰𝘓𝘵 and the before and after.
Yeah.
But I think the main ones are, September 2014, as I was joining, our cash flow was minus $1 billion.
Yeah, okay.
And as we sit here today, we have 1.1 billion pounds in the bank. But we've also, in the period, returned just under £1 billion in terms of dividends and share buybacks.
Okay.
And that's contributed directly to what effectively is a doubling of the share price over the period. In terms of your question, 10 years seems like a long time. It's been a very, very busy 10 years, and I've got a philosophy that you should re-recruit your CEO every 5 years, because you want to assess the 5-year strategy, both historically, but also going forward, what's going to be different. In the case of 𝘱𝘰𝘓𝘵, we weren't really able to do that because year 5 coincided around COVID.
Sure.
And in the COVID world, which lasted for 2 years, but the tail ran for 3 or 4 years, that was a real difficult intervention which required continuity of leadership in order to sustain the success and the stability that you'd created in the business. And so really you've got to 10 years and, we've now gone out to the market, looked for another successor. And I think, bringing in some fresh eyes, some fresh perspective, a really high caliber candidate that was available was the right thing to do at this time. And that then sort of frees me up to go and do other things and allows the business to continue with its current strategy and current success.
There was a word one engineer used to describe you a week ago. They're like, he's just believable.
Look, I think there's no doubt that over the years and multiple companies, you develop a playbook in terms of how you transition and transform culture in order to deliver superior performance. And, across the last 3 companies where I've been a CEO in terms of de la Rue, Kinetic, and now 𝘱𝘰𝘓𝘵, in every single case, the value of the company more than doubled, and the cash return to shareholders was at least 50% of the market capitalization.
It's a lot of people's lives.
We have 26,000 today across 3 continents. We only operate in Hong Kong, the UK, and the USA, and we're big businesses in each of those particular markets, and successful businesses.
You got 5% of your workforce earn and learn, so it's apprentices, it's graduate programs, and that's kind of important for society, isn't it? So there's got to be a bit of fulfillment on that front too.
Well, I think you've got to go back to what's the purpose of the company, and as a company, we paint skylines, we connect communities, but the single most important thing we do is we take young people and we grow them to become great leaders. And we can do that because the nature of our business is such that we are presented with different challenges for which you have to mobilize a very, very strong team to then deliver a perfect outcome. For that team at the end to disband and then to go and do the same thing again with another team. We've got the advantage of being able to recruit very competent, capable young people. And as we present them with the challenges and put them in positions where they have to make decisions, they become great leaders. For example, I started 40 odd years ago with 𝘱𝘰𝘓𝘵 on site as a civil engineer, and today I'm now running the company. Anybody can perform and deliver results in the short term, but can you do it sustainably over a long period of time? And I think the track record of 𝘱𝘰𝘓𝘵 over the last 10 years demonstrates that we've achieved it over the long term, but even more importantly, I think the next 5 to 10 years are going to be even more profound in terms of consistently delivering superior performance on a continuum above and beyond where we are today.
I passed on to many people at this point your point to me years ago, which was meet people as they are, not as you wish.
Yes.
Just like
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I believe that. It is what it is. We are what we are.
Yeah.
So now the question is, either you have that grown-up conversation that we need this kind of style or this for this particular problem, join and do it.
You sound like I've been researching Phil Jackson, who he was coaching the Bulls, and he did 11 NBA victories, right? 11 rings.
Wow.
And his whole thing was, he's like, I don't think about like the end result of the game. I focus on the behaviors and the team structures and running all the plays, regardless of where we're at. The results take care of themselves. And
Results will come,
Yeah.
whichever way. But get into that particular moment.
Yes.
Do your best what you could do.
Yes.
So that when whatever result comes, you
Yep.
don't feel I should have done more.
Leo used this metaphor of what he does as a project business, as in creating a film. So a team would come together, produce a film, disband, come together on another film, which is different from the culture here.
Yes.
I think it was the 80s or 90s when the research came out on Broadway plays.
Yes.
And it would show maybe the main 6 people, 7 people that would produce the thing.
Yes.
That actually the financial results
Yes.
were the worst when everyone was new to each other.
Yes.
And they were better when everyone knew each other and had done previous work together. But here's what's interesting. They were the best when most of the people knew each other, but there was a couple new people that fit the culture, but actually were new to working with the others. Like it brought some sort of a spice to it. And I get it, because creatively, I love it when the majority of the creative team all knows each other's buttons, how to work together. But there's 1, maybe 2 people that spice it up, right? It's like this, the unknown.
Yeah. I think first and foremost, that's one way to look at the projects, right? And fully agree with the statement. But you can also think project as a product business,
Yeah.
right? So the concept model will work for both.
Okay. Yeah.
It will work for literally engineering project-based company
Yeah.
or a product and technology-based company.
Yeah.
Because you bring the same group of people you trust, you know they have the capability. So it is not 6 months or 2 years or 5 years.
Yeah.
It's 20 years.
Sure.
So yes, there is that truth in it. Bring a team, they come and you save a few years for that. But having said that, when I was in Boston running a software business, it was very common because 90s or late 90s, early 2000s, a lot of software was coming out into the market, and some of them made millions, some died. A lot of software companies,
Yeah.
whether it was ERP type of software or even the social media softwares.
Yep.
And the common notion was software companies are like a Hollywood movie.
Okay.
How much you invest in it upfront, how much you do marketing campaign,
Yep.
how much you attract the customers, chances are you'll be successful.
It's early to bed, early to rise, work like hell and advertise.
The above average multiple reflected the above average value creation. And Sanjay and Leo took their time to find the right home for the business.
The growth was either we set up all these offices and build the relationships in different parts of the world, or we find a partner.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where we started looking at partners. And we said partners needs the 3 things. 1, high reputation as well for.
Yep.
Second, they actually have this part in the growth strategy. And the third, they value this business.
Yep.
And finally, we found that with Hitachi, and
Yeah.
off we go. And we refused so many other companies because we knew exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, and what we see now is what we have proven here, they can bring it to the market faster.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
And maintain the quality. Yeah.
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 You know, when I tell to the people about purpose or vision, it has to be eventually formulated that even a 10-year-old can understand.
Yes.
And that's what you brought out of that. And people felt joy and confidence.
Yes.
One of the guys told me, he said, Sanjay, I can't tell you how much happy I am. I said, well, why, Chris, why are you so happy? He said, I myself didn't know we could actually do it.
Thanks for watching, and gratitude to Sanjay, Lianne, and Leo, and their wider team. Also my team. This was just a really satisfying group effort. I'd love to hear from you. You're watching this. Like, is there something that jumped out or is particularly useful? Let's chat in the comments. Finally, if you want to be, nerding out on more of these rebrands or process examples, surf around this channel. If you want to work with me, matous.com is a great place to start. And finally, I've just put a couple minutes at the end of this video. I tossed it out and because it didn't really fit, but I think it might be interesting to some of you. And that's Leo describing the intersection of low birth rates and AI and how it's affecting the workforce. Hope you enjoy that too.
You at all sweating AI? Like the impact on all those employees and like how fast it's coming?
Ironically, only this morning I picked up an email from Satya, the CEO of Microsoft. And at the recent CEO conference, they were demonstrating how AI can actually help improve the life of every office worker.
Okay.
And, there's some great examples of how you can interrogate, how you can plan, how you can optimize your time and become more efficient. AI is going to have an amazing impact on everybody, but in particular across our company. And what we are going to effectively do is invest in Copilot. We are the first infrastructure civils company in the UK to take out 7,000 licenses for all of its employees. And so we're looking to get ahead of the curve and to be the innovator in the use of that rather than the follower.
Okay. So to you, it's not fear, it's opportunity.
Oh, absolutely opportunity. And the idea is we're investing to make sure we're first to market.
Okay. And are you already feeling the hit of it, or is it more like it's kind of like it's starting, but it's not really impacting yet?
Look, the point is it started.
Yeah.
It's not a nice to have, it's a have to have. And why? Well, we see our workforce growing over the next decade. If you actually look at the number of people that are graduating and engineers, there aren't enough engineers to do all the work that's available. Now, we can solve some of that problem with visas and bringing people in from abroad, but that's actually quite restrictive. We can't go back and change the birth rate 20, 25 years ago because that's all done.
Yeah.
So what we can do is we can drive digital technologies, and the likes of Copilot is actually going to make us more efficient. Therefore, we don't necessarily have to take on as many people as we would have in the past, but they're not actually there to recruit anyway. And even in our field operations, we're using things like digital technology like site assist to make people more productive and safer and to better assure the processes that we're putting in place and the outcomes that we deliver. So all in all, digital, Copilot, they're all going to be an integral part of our future.